Well, hey, everyone. How's it going? Just saw there was a plethora of people going live tonight. You know, we had the David Burns went live, and then we had, I guess, Bruce's Bees dropped a video. So figured to wait a little bit to see if anybody wanted to hang out and come over here and chat and talk bees. And, you know, who knows who we'll see. Maybe we'll get a... you know, some people hopping in here so we can chat. Hey, Donnie. So, hey, Michael, Vincent, Chris. Good to see Chris. Might have caught another swarm today. Just been hanging out, not really doing much. Did go back in the yard and oh yeah, it's just Bob. It's nobody, man. It's nobody. Hey, Tim. Hey, Sebastian. Good to see you. Just hanging out. What did I do today? Work, more work. Went in the bee yard for a little bit and, you know, checked for some queens. Marked them if I saw them. Type of situation. But for some reason, I've got some queens that like to really camouflage. They like to hide. So, I took out my yellow pin and my red pin in my jacket and if it was last year's queen, yellow, this year queen, red, just kind of doing it. Canada's very fast, huh? Good deal. I think they have different regulations. I don't know what it is between the U.S. and Canada, and U.S. and any country. It's slower to get stuff in and out of there, you know. But the link is pinned, guys, if anybody wants to jump in and talk some bees and about what's going on in their area. I'm just was sitting here watching some reels and really not doing much. So I figured I'd come on here and see what was shaking with everybody. And, you know, for some reason, people are having a time getting notifications. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, so it's just been one of those kind of weeks. Not that many lives. Got a few complaints in the past that going live when other people have lives scheduled and stuff like that. Well, the problem is that now pretty much every day of the week there's a live from somebody, right? Somebody is doing a live. Even more new people are doing lives. Like yesterday, Mike Berry was doing a live in his bee yard and stuff like that. So, you know, where it was at one time, it was pretty much the stream team, right? And then us. So there's a lot, and Sebastian goes live, and you know, there's a lot of people going live. So it's a good thing. But I don't always go through and check all of the you know, live streams before I hit the button, you know. Christopher.
Hey, Bob.
So you're growing the beard and I'm shaving the beard.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why, because that was your thing.
Well, yeah, I'll probably let it start growing back out. See if
I thought your boss said something to you.
No, I just shaved it off, man. So you didn't check in the box, but it did look like you were getting activity there. And drones going in and out, that's pretty interesting. You don't have any food or anything like that in there, right?
No, just your lure. And that's another box. I took the other one down, and
so that's
a new one that I built.
Entirely different box.
Yeah, it's entirely different box, but with your lure in it. So,
you know, I had my first return today on Amazon.
No way.
Yep. You know what the reasoning was? It smells like lemongrass oil.
It smells like pledge to me, but hey, What am I saying?
It doesn't have lemongrass in it. That's the funny thing. Just, you know, pledge smells lemony doesn't mean it's got lemongrass oil in it, right? So
hey, that's correct.
Oh, they got lemon pine saw. Doesn't mean it's got lemongrass oil in it. But
hey, it seems to be working for me. So I put up another trap, caddy corner from the one that's up there right now.
Cool. So hopefully it is as successful. Now, Tim and Hannah, I don't think they've caught one yet with it yet. So
I'm running out of materials, man. I'm gonna have to start building some more boxes.
Or buying them, right?
I try not to do that, but hey, if I have to, I'm running out of wood. I gotta go visit some of these construction yards.
Hey, you know what? Well, hey, you know that the warehouse there, we get pallets of stuff all the time. You should have them keep the pallets. A lot of people are building stuff out of pallet wood for like storm traps. So
yeah, I need something more like something for more like the actual hives itself.
I do like the Lyson for my cell builder. Now, I don't have anything to compare to because that's the only cell builder I've ever built, right? So, but I like it. In my mind, it gives them nice, warm, comfortable space, you know? So yesterday, I pulled the 11 cells that I grafted out. And before I did that, I grafted 20 more. So to drop in, right? So we'll see how it goes. It's more practice than anything. Plus my tool is getting bent. You see how it's bent from. So
well, you're shoving it down there.
Well, it naturally bends when you go down there, right? Underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a tendency now that it's curved, I've got to kind of go at an angle to try to get it straight. Even when I like take the time and try to bend it straight, it's cheap. So I bought a bunch of them to come in. So we'll see how it goes. But I do have 11 cells in the incubator and I grafted the other one. So
there you go.
Nope, no swarms under my mailbox yet. But good to see you, Frank. Haven't seen you in a minute. All right, Sebastian, take it easy, brother. We'll see you later. So Sebastian's live this weekend has got Mike Berry and who's the other fellow? Sebastian, type who the other guy is because I've never met him. I've met Mike, and I don't have it handy right now. But yeah, that was the first person to send back lure because it smelled like lemongrass. So, and Ashby Miller, there you go. And the other thing was that it's kind of slowed down. right? With this cold weather, I think people aren't thinking about catching swarms now. But now the problem is, like, I had a guy up the road that he sent me pictures because it warmed up today.
Yep.
Swarm in his bush right behind him. So I think that was probably his own swarm. I don't know, but he had to go shake it out of the tree. But
well, it jumped up to 72 today here. So
yeah, it did. It got warm today.
After being 32 this morning.
Well, I think people, Ricky, I think people assume that it's got lemongrass in it, and for the price, they would just get lemongrass, right? But there's nothing wrong with smelling like lemongrass, but it doesn't have lemongrass in it. And without giving the problem is, all you got to take is, all you can do is take my word for it, because otherwise I give away all the components of what's in my swarm lure, right? So
right,
we just take the L on that one, But Amazon has slowed down. I was getting orders like every single day on Amazon, and it just kind of went all of a sudden. Like,
I think everybody on your chat has bought some.
Yeah, I wish all the people that bought it from Amazon would go and leave a review on Amazon, because I still only have the 5 reviews, and that would definitely help out. And I don't know if there's a verified review, right, where you've bought it through Amazon and they can verify that. But I think there's a review you can do on Amazon if you've bought it and not been on Amazon. I don't know. So
yeah, I bought mine through you. So,
but it's
I might have to do some more bullets though. I found out that the bees eat they
can't eat it, man. It's plastic.
Oh, and they eat the insert that you put in there. That little
it dehydrates and it turns back into a piece of sand, and then you just add the lure back to it, and it'll swell back up again. Those things are literally.
I've tried that. Mine didn't do that.
Dry.
Yeah. See, mine didn't do that. I looked in the little tubes, and they were gone.
What?
Yeah.
I've never had it happen. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying I haven't had it happen.
All three of my tubes that I had in there, because I put 3 plus I sprayed the entrance, so I make it a little stronger to lure them faster.
Well, yeah, you can, but mine is not. I don't know. I smell it compared to the competitors, and it smells very similar to the top competitors on the market. But for some reason, I don't know if it's the ratio or the strength or whatever, but you're running a comparison test.
Yeah. I ain't getting nothing in the other ones. And I'm setting them up the exact same way.
And now, are you rebaiting them all at the same time and everything?
Yeah.
So it's just.
They like the lemongrass and they like yours. That's the only ones I'm getting any activity on. For some reason, Swarm Science and Swarm Commander, I'm not getting nothing on them. It might be the location that I have the boxes. That could be.
It could be a few things,
But
which is what I've tried to explain to people, that it's not just the lure, right? And it doesn't matter. I'm happy that you're catching on my lure. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying? There's so much that goes into it, right? That it could. But from what you've told me is all your boxes are the same dimensions.
Yeah.
And
just the heights aren't. That's the only difference.
The height?
Yeah.
But they got the same cubic space?
Yeah.
See, once all a swarm lure does is get them to recognize, come to it, right? They check it out. They do their measurement. They got the little engineer bee in there going, yep, that's about right. That's about right. And then they move in. So if my lure gets them to the door and inside, that's all it can do. That's all it can do. Whether they stay or not, or go to a different box or whatever, that's on them,
And the other thing I started doing is I take your little spritzer bottle that you get, that I got also. and I spray the very back frame. On the back side of it, the whole frame is, I spray the whole back frame, so it's stronger. So it actually draws them in.
And then it'll, I mean, over time it degrades, but
yeah. But also I have the little bottles in there too, the little bullets. So
you got an all-out swarm assault going.
Yes, and it seems to work. I mean, like you seen that video today. That was just, they all just started coming out of nowhere, and even drones were going in there. So,
well, I'm assuming. I mean, I've seen drones in a swarm. So either a swarm moved in, maybe a cast off, or a secondary swarm of the one that you caught the other day.
Right.
Could be that, or I've never seen drones as like a scout, where they're go check it out. But bees are bees. They're going to do what they're going to do. So no dead air Thursday. Hey, Paul. So yeah, it's been busy. I've got Hillbilly Earl ordered some stuff for me, some marking pins and a Varroa cup and a Hive tool, but for some reason I switched my laser back out. Now my laser's having a hard time marking Hive tools, which it was doing fine. So I had to order some spray. Sell more of my items on Amazon. Well, the problem with Amazon, and hey, there's Charlie. It's not, there's certain problems. Like I've got the pins on Amazon and I've got the lure on Amazon, but some stuff, the problem with Amazon is they charge you every single item you sell. So like on a bottle of swarm lure, they charge $5, and then I pay for the shipping, right? So the shipping is free and the $5. So it really soaks up all the profit. And some things, if you do that with, then you're making nothing, so it defeats the purpose of even doing it at that point. So lure, pins, and cups. The lure's on there, the pins are on there. The cups, I don't know if I mean, first of all, I don't get that many cups in, and they already cost me in the teens by the time I get it from Canada. So it's like there's not much margin there to work with. And then if I got to pay Amazon percentage, it just doesn't work out. Yeah, but I don't use my debit online. Hey, well, the good thing is with my website, it's a big credit card processing company. So, I mean, it's secure if that's what you want to do. Let me see. The lady are doing great. Hey, that's good, man. Let me see. Charlie, what are you doing, man?
I'm saying hi to everybody here. Just got off of another chat, or actually a club meeting. Talking about single brood chamber management.
Hey, you know who? I'm going to have a visitor in May. And I'm like, how in the world how can you even come down here in May? Isn't that bee season? So James McNally,
Really?
I talked to him yesterday and he said, hey, don't you have an international paper like near you? I'm like, yes, in the next town over. He's like, well, I'm going to be there the week of May 7th. I'm like, May 7th? Isn't that when everything starts off for you?
That's a Saturday.
Like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, I might have to get Alan to help me out a little bit that week. So yeah, he's going to be up here that week. So
I'm going to be in Florida on that weekend.
You going down to Florida?
Yeah.
That's yeah,
metal detecting.
Yeah, that's one of my things I would love to do. Metal detect.
Southern, what is it? Southeastern.
Do what?
I'm looking at the thing here. Southeastern Colorado hives.
Oh yeah. I wish I knew more people's names on here. They're real names, right? Charlie, what you eating? Popcorn tonight? Sounds popcorny.
Sounds corny.
It sounds corny. But we so I got out in the yard today and checked a couple colonies. I didn't check my cells. You know, I pulled the 11 yesterday, put them in the incubator. But prior to doing that, I pulled my other graft frame over here and grafted 20 more cells. Now, there's a distinct difference in these, Charlie. These were more like what, I mean, I was having a hard time seeing the larva with the glasses on. I mean, they were there but they were in like a pool, right? So I'm looking in there. I'm like, man, I see the jelly. I know there's something in there. But even with all these lights on and the light from my thing, you had to look really close to try to see the larva.
And that's the ones you're going to have a good situation for.
Well, the only problem is by the time you graft them, I mean, some of them don't have that much jelly in it yet, right? So it's like you're grafting them and you're putting them in the cup and you're covering them. But I'm just thinking like they're drying out while I'm sitting here grafting, you know.
Well,
and then I've got some brood that's like chewing its way out, like hatching at the same time, right? So it had the rainbow and everything was going on. So I'm like at my desk and there's baby bees like coming out and walking around. I'm like, okay. So
what's your power on your glasses?
I don't know. I think I'm using the 4X one. I might need to go up to the 5X.
I'm gonna try it,
but it's
you have to kind of get the focal length gauge to what you're doing.
But yep, I mean, I got 11 in the incubator, and then I got the other 10 that I grafted. But what it's going to do, it's going to throw off my cycle, right? So now it's telling me by my spreadsheet, since I grafted yesterday, that from yesterday.
Now, do you put a spreadsheet for each one that you graft?
Yes, I printed out.
Okay.
So the ones I grafted yesterday, boom. I was just trying to look on the computer. The ones I grafted yesterday are saying the queens won't be capped till Monday. However, the ones I grafted on Saturday.
That's right. That's right. Because I graft on Wednesday and they cap on Monday, or they'll be capped by Monday.
But the ones I grafted on the 11th, I don't know if you can see the
your nice little paperwork.
The 11th right there, right? Grafted date, the 11th. It says that they should have been capped today. I pulled them yesterday. They were all capped, every one of them. So I pulled them a day early. So which is kind of interesting that, you know, I guess there's a couple things, right? It depends how many cells are in there and how many bees. And I mean, obviously, if there's a lot of bees, they got plenty of time to feed them up.
You had, what, 11 of them yesterday, right? 11.
Yeah, I pulled 11. Yeah, there's 11 in the incubator. And then I grafted another 10. Let me see. I missed something.
There's Carl. I think, no, it ain't Carl. Who is that?
Who?
Well, it's 3 boys and bees. I know it's Tennessee, but I don't know the first.
Let me see. Yeah. Don't spit in the cup. Yeah, I might have some nicotine addicted queens. Let me see. Where did I see? I missed something. Let me see if I can check the chat here.
I know Ricky was on there. I said hi to him.
When you catch a swarm and put in a hive without finding the queen, how long do you keep them? I keep them locked down for 3 days. Well, that's a lie. I did it 48 hours last time. 48 hours locked down. And then when I went in, guess what? They both had a queen. What? So, Bob, are you at like the 1 million watch hour mark with all of us no lifers? No, I don't know. How many watch hours do I have? I think 375,000 watch hours. Something like that. I don't know. I've got a few watch hours.
Thanks, Joe. I got you on my list.
Let me see. YouTube Studio. Watch hours. Where do I find that out even? I always look at the top.
Hey, Lee.
Analytics, maybe.
Watch hours, go to earn.
Earn.
You go to click on earn and then scroll down.
But it doesn't show you like all time watch hours, right?
I got 5,000 right now.
I don't know. What it's telling me is on my overview, the last 28 days, I've got 3,200 watch hours. So as far as all time, don't know. It's a lot because I've had YouTube. I mean, I've made YouTube content for a few years, right? But just hasn't been in this format.
Hey, Grandma.
Hey, maybe I can just do all time. Is there all time? Mark lifetime. There we go. Lifetime. I don't have that many watch hours, man. I've got 500,000 views. I've got 41. You might as well say 42,000 watch hours all time. So not bad. Not bad. So it's not terrible. Could be better, could be worse. I've stopped really even tracking the metrics or anything. It's not that important anymore. I mean, it's important. I enjoy it, but it's just like, just not. I've come to the realization that I'm not Cayman Reynolds. I'm not David Burns or, even Ian Stepler for that matter. I'll never have 100,000 subs. I'll never, you know what I'm saying? That's just not my format. And I don't put that much effort into it as far as even my video content. When I make a video, I don't do all the fancy schmancy editing and all that. And so that's, that's that. I've got 2 so far, two swarms and a cutout.
Look at 3 boys and bees.
Half those hours. What is it? John, I try to get them out quick, man. Half those hours are from what should have been Charlie's 6-hour night. So, 500,000 hours all time. I've made $1,600. $1,600 off of YouTube on 500,000 hours. So that's
don't hold your breath.
Yeah, don't hold. And when I say $1,600, that's $1,600 over since about 2009 or 2012. It's been a long time. So you divide that math out. For a long time, it might have been $100 a year. Oh well, yeah. If you just put the GoPros in there and giveaways and all that stuff, I've spent more than I've made. For sure. So it's not, it is what it is. I mean, I definitely appreciate, super chats and stuff like that, but I've given up on that, guys. I've given up on it. At one time it used to bug me. Nah, I don't even care. Hey, Brian.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brian.
I like to get one of those. I like to get one of those cameras that are on those extension little, like dentist things where you can place in the hole of the hive and see what's going on in there.
Oh yeah, I got one. A scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a scope from Harbor Freight.
Really? Does it work good?
I've used it exactly one time, and now I've misplaced it. I used it on a removal, right? It was at a church, and it had a cinder block post, and the bees were coming out of the cinder block from the top. So I ran the scope in there. And as soon as I ran it in, it was like straight into the honey. So it was like, psh. But it did work. I mean, I could see the bees on the camera and all that stuff, but it was not, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, price wise, that it works good. If I just did it through the hole and stuff like that, it'd probably be pretty interesting. I just have to find it again.
Yeah, those would make pretty good videos if you set it up.
Hopefully they do better than my FLIR, because when I take, my Harbor Freight FLIR, because when I use that, it like has these, it's like a tiny pixel format for it as compared to a nice.
I got into my bees today. It finally got up to, I don't know, 55 degrees today. They were flying like crazy at lunchtime. And I went out there this evening, opened up, I don't know, like the last 4 hives behind me there at the end of the row. And everybody had plenty of food. That was the main thing I was checking. And they're raising brood and all that.
Has anyone seen Mark Miller in the chat?
He's not in tonight yet.
Because I wanted to show him something, if I can find it on here. Where is it? So a little while back, he was on the stream, and we were talking about different ideas and how you could scan a barcode on your hive and track what was going on with your hive. Remember that conversation?
All right.
So I found a Chinese company, and so I saw something. I was kind of interested in looking at it because it looked unique, right? It's got a solar panel on the front, which charges lithium-ion batteries, and this is a it's got a scale on the bottom, right? So it weighs it. It also does a bee counter. It counts the number of bees going in and out, right? It gives you the, and Kyle's here, so I wanted to show this to him as well. But it keeps the humidity and the temperature in the colony and the weight. But you see it's got a QR code on it. It uses an app. So you go up to it and you scan this QR code, and it gives you the data for that hive on what's happening with it. So this is almost identical to what he was saying that he wanted to do, right? A barcode that would give you all the information on the colony. And this was what came up. So they're not cheap. I'll tell you that much. I think the Chinese company told me cost was $235 a piece on it. So there's a couple things about it I don't like. First of all, the solar panel. To me, if you're going to have a solar panel, it should be on the opposite end of the entrance. However, I guess that allows you to work it from behind. But the way mine are set up, I would have to be zigzagging in and out of my hives because I would have solar panels sticking in both sides.
You'd be hitting them with your knees and stuff.
So that was
especially when you go out at night.
But they're sitting on all these colonies are sitting right on the ground, right? And I don't know how well they work. I just thought it was a interesting thing, and we had talked about it, and so I wanted to. It's Digital Beehive.
Yeah, I was gonna say all it looks like is a bottom board. So
Beehive information board, right? So it's got the QR code. It's got the entrance block, entrance. I think they meant entrance reducer. Connect with the base port. Let's see. That must be more like directions. I was trying to see where it had the scale is the bottom, right? And this is the whole direction. All right, so it does the temperature measurement, the humidity measurement, weight measurement, the frequency of the sound, right? So they're buzzing inside. It keeps, I guess, a noise measurement. Bees.
They were doing experiments on that as far as the frequency and stuff.
Bees entrance measurement 0 to 500,000 accuracy 1 bee. Positioning measurement 10 meters. It's got a built-in lithium ion with a 6-watt solar panel. So I just thought it was neat. And yeah, bees would
like Dennis's money pit.
Oh yeah. Well, this right here was just when I saw it, you see, you track it on your app, right? So basically you could, I mean,
so you have to buy a monthly fund there.
No, I think it keeps the apiary weather, and it just tracks your stuff, right? It logs you can write notes. It keeps, I mean, but this was exactly what we talked about, that Mark Miller was talking about being able to do, to go up and scan the colony. This thing does exactly what he was saying. Yeah, I mean, you would be able to tell if it swarmed, right? The weight would drop real quick. The frequency, the noise change inside would change. Now, is this something I could put on every colony? No, not even close. I mean,
that's right, Sean.
You know how much money you'd have to have? The Chinese can spy on the bees. But how's beehive status offline, vibration? So yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool. You know, a cool thing. Nice little app. Weight alarm. So I guess if you got a weight alarm, you'd be like, yep, they hit the trees, you know. So that was kind of an interesting thing for me. You know, everyone seems.
It'd be nice to have just one of them just to try it.
Yeah, I don't know, $235, you know. And that's cost. So I'm like, I specifically asked, I was like, well, what if I wanted to get these and resell them, right? Like market them. And they're like $235. So how much would you have to resell it for? $400 or $500? I mean, by the time you pay for the shipping and the duties on it, right, from China, so doesn't make it too economical, right, for that. But you know, they have all kinds of different stuff. They sent me this catalog. They call it a catalog. It's got all these beekeeping items in it, but there's not a price in the whole book. So unlike, you know, going to a website or flipping through a Sears and Roebuck catalog, you write down what you want. I want this item number, you know, and you don't even know. Let me see. What does she say here? It will work with Wi-Fi /4G. The system can run on either Wi-Fi or 4G or a combination of both networks. Monitor your bees through the app anywhere, anytime. Yeah, so that's, I mean, it's a little expensive, but yeah, Amazon robot that brings you the hives that need attention. Yeah, so it's it'd be interesting to see, but they would have to send me one. I mean, there's no way I'm ordering that from China and then hoping that it makes it, right.
Volunteer to be a tester here in the United States for it.
Yeah, the Chinese don't play that game too much. Sometimes they will, but not too often. But yeah, I went out in the yard today, Charlie, and poked around for a minute, and bees are being bees. I mean, we're getting this 30. You saw it today, Chris. What was it when you woke up this morning? Probably 30.
32.
It was freezing, right? And then it was
Yep.
70 in the afternoon.
71.
So
I've never seen it jump 40 degrees though in one day.
I know it's somebody that's watching this stream that just bought a swarm lure, because I haven't had anything all day on Amazon, and all of a sudden we got swarm lure sale. So I appreciate it, whoever done it. So that was maybe it's because it warmed up and people are seeing the swarm starting again.
Well, I know I've got a lot of activity going on, all of them. So
let's see, print packet slip. There we go. This one's going to Jasper, Georgia. It's funny because as the season has progressed, right, I can see where my shipments are starting to go geographically north. On, like Georgia, Florida, Alabama was kind of the first range, Texas, and then we started getting a little Arkansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma, in that range, and now it's starting to go up a little bit as it warms up a bit. And
yeah, it was like 50 degrees today, and tomorrow it's going to be up in the 50s, almost 60. But then after that, at nighttime, like Friday night, it's going to be 39 degrees, and Saturday night, 27 degrees, and 26 degrees, and around 30 Monday. During the day, an average right around 50, 55. Sunday, like 43. So it's, still.
that don't really get your plants out there to grow either. Not with that kind of weather.
I mean, they were out there flying hard today at lunch, but I was looking at some of the maple trees, and they had, a week ago or 4 or 5 days ago, they were that brilliant red bloom, and it was like, well, they, it was so cold and crappy, they couldn't even get out.
Well, people wonder why they get their packages pretty quick, is because as soon as I get them, I mean, I check it, like I'll pack up before I leave for work in the morning, and I get them out, or as soon as they come in, I try to pack them so I can just get them out of there. You going to use that?
Yeah, I haven't got mine yet, but it'll come here in the next couple of days, I guess.
I can tell you exactly when you're supposed to get it. You ordered it from my website. You ordered it over the weekend, right? No, well, I put the pins up Monday, so you ordered them Monday, which means they went out Tuesday, which means you should be getting it tomorrow. Probably. I can tell you. Since we're going down
I usually get 2 days after you ship it over to me, Bob. And I'm just on the road from you.
Shipped orders. Let's see. It's been a lot. Yeah. Charles Thomas. Tracking number. It was expected to be delivered today, Charlie. But it says moving through network in transit to next facility. It's in Washington, D.C. right now.
Okay.
So if Biden's the one checking it in, it might be a minute. Just saying. But yeah, it's saying it's in D.C. Let me see. Look at that. So see now, Spanky's saying the lemongrass is more popular than the bullet or the spray. So we'll see. Either way, I hope you catch it. He's not qualified to work at USPS.
What's
The
that? I don't get that.
Biden not qualified.
Oh, yeah.
The let me see. So yeah, we got a bunch of 5 strong stingers. I mean colonies. Nice. We had we've been having this up and down weather, man. It's like white. I mean, it's actually probably good if your colonies were like on the verge of swarming, that we get a little cold and then they end up eating some of that resource while they're in the colony. And, I don't know. I'm just trying to find a good situation out of it. But it's
Well, I found in mine, she's laying eggs and all the hives I had and larvae, and there's cat brood, and there's some drones in there.
mhm.
And, everybody's getting, like, I had this bee meeting tonight and they were all wound up about the drones. I'm like, yeah, so what? I mean, that's
Need
just
'em.
part of their nature, And for right now, it's cold up here. And so anyway, I don't look for anything until the end of the month. I'll get into them and maybe do the single brood, switch them over to single brood chamber stuff.
Well, I was hoping to get the bees from Florida soon, but it ain't happening, it appears. I talked to Mark today, and he's like,
There's Ian. Ian, he's getting sick of the winter weather. I would be too. All that darn snow and stuff up there he's got.
The won't be long though. Won't be long.
Yeah, my main hive I put on a super on today because they were exploding in the main box. So,
well, mine seemed like they were exploding, but it would once we got in there was a lot of bees, but they were backfilling everything, right, with pollen and nectar. So we had to give them some room and do some checkerboarding and stuff like that to try to give her some extra space. But then what happens as soon as we do that? Freezing temperature. Like, is it even that good, right? At that point.
So Loma Vista Bee Company, there, are you where all that flooding is, or?
Yeah, he says they got mud over there.
And what do they call this new storm system? They call it some fancy name.
I don't know. That would require me to watch news.
I'm the same way.
If someone says, "Hey, did you hear about the storm coming through?" then I'll probably check it out, But otherwise, I usually don't.
He's in Central Cali.
So let me see. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of that time of the year where it's either way. But in the next 2 weeks, it's definitely going to be, temperature should be changing to the positive, all constant, consistent temperature, at least a little.
First day of spring is what, Monday?
Yeah, that's what they're telling us, right? The bees don't read the calendar, though, unfortunately. I wish they did. It'd be a lot easier. Let me see.
I know the temps down here are going to be in the 70s next week. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be back like normal.
And let me see. Any month, most everyone will be catching swarms. Yep. Bob had queen cells before us. I had them early, yeah. Some of them early. I'm just, I can't say. It should be any time, right, Charlie? So when did I put those? When did I get those grafted queen cells? The ones that we went down there, right? Videos. When did I put that video out? I put that video out on the 4th. Today is the 16th. So that was 12 days ago that we went down there, which means they hatched out. That was a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So in the next 2 days, it will have been 12 days that since those queens were introduced into those colonies, to those maiden nukes. They should be back and mated, but then we had the cold snap. So I
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
don't know what's going to happen. So maybe we get some, maybe we don't. I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. The weather is messing it up.
Yeah, that's what they call atmospheric river.
Yeah, I never heard it. Where do they dream up these crazy?
I don't know. There's
names?
supposed to be a river in the atmosphere
I don't know.
raining on us.
I'm grafting this weekend between storms. I try to graft right here on the table. Now I did watch a video that Mir sent me, and what they were doing is the guy would take all of his grafts out of all of his bars out, right? And
That's
then
what I do. That's what I do.
I do too when I'm grafting. I've been taking them out, but what he does is he was sitting there on top of his hive, right? And he would graft up a row, and then he'd put that row into his frame and take his whole frame and drop it into his starter finisher. And then he would graft up his next row, and he would go back and he would pull that up out and put his next bar in. So as soon as he puts that back in, within 10 seconds, these got bees feeding and nursing the larva back, right? So he's not really worrying about them dry out.
Did you see Ian's question?
I had 11 on that round. So 50%. And then when I pulled those out yesterday to move them to the incubator, I dropped 20 more grafts in. So we'll see how they go. The main thing is that the temperature will just keep playing the game with us, right? But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, fun messing with it. But now, those were primed. Those cups, the ones that I did with Amir, we primed the cups ahead of time. So, but not much. I mean, it wasn't like a lot. I mean, it was basically greasing a cookie sheet, right? That's basically what it was. Wasn't too much to it.
Well, down there at Hardeman's, all they do is they get some royal jelly right out of the queen cups or whatever, and then they put a little bit of water in there, and they sit there and mix it up, make a sort of like a milky paste,
right?
And they have a little piece of wood where it looks like kind of like a pencil, and they go in and out and then dip it or into the cups. There's a droplet basically of priming fluid in each cell.
Just something to stick the larva to, I guess. But it was I mean, it's definitely been interesting and fun, and I'm going to try to graft as many as I can. It's not.
I enjoy grafting. I think grafting is, I don't know. I guess it's to me, it's like a game or a challenge, between you and the bees.
Let me see. I started Carrie on prime cells for the first year or two until she started to get lazy. Then she moved into dry grass. Hey, if she's successful, either way it works, right?
Yeah. I've seen Ian show off where she's gotten 100%, like what, 40, 45, I think it is.
For what I'm doing though, I don't need
that many.
I don't need that many, right? So if I make enough for just what I need, then anything surplus I can sell or whatever, it's just, but I have to do excess to get what I need because I'm not as proficient as, Carrie for sure, or someone that's been doing it for a long time. It just takes a lot of practice.
Well, it takes practice and then knowing how to set up your cell builder and get the amount of bees in there and
But I don't
all that.
gamble either. So if I'm going down there and I grab that larva, right? So little piece of burr cone. So if I go down in there and I get her or get something, if I think even possibly that I rolled her or something, I just wipe her off. I wipe it right off on my sheet and go back and do another one. Because I don't want to wait a week to know that it was messed up, right? I'm trying to figure it out right now. But I mean, it's been fun. Fun. I think everybody should do it. Honestly, you should try it. Even if you don't want to do it for long term, if you know you could say, hey, I need a few queens and go out there and grab 50-50.
Yeah, 50% jelly and 50%, I guess, water. But Carrie hits on average 95 to 99%. And then she shows Ian the hundreds.
But hey, it's definitely a learning curve, right? So, and not only that, but I forgot to do this time. So I pulled the grafts, and like these all have some honey in them. The first ones I used, right? So when I got my cell and I set it in my roller to go in the incubator, when she hatches out, there's some honey down here that she can go grab off the bottom. But of course, most of mine out there now don't have the honey in the bottom, so I'm gonna have to go out and mess with them. But I'm gonna give them a few days. You know, that period when you're not supposed to move them or touch them or anything. That's what they're in right now, so they're just gonna stay there until that. But
now, are you using a eyedropper or something to put that honey in there, or a syringe?
no, I just used a squeeze bottle and just put a little bubble, right? Just a little drop on the end of the squeeze bottle and
drop it in there.
Drop it right in the little hole right there and let them go get it. Make sure that's it. But yeah, that's all I did. But worked pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean, my idea is she's not going to need a lot because ideally he's like, 50-50 jelly and distilled water. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about that here. Oh, I don't know if I recommend this though. I mean, some people have different preferences, but I bought this Chinese grafting tool too.
I've never seen that type.
It's all plastic, right? Even the little dealy-do right here is not bamboo. I mean, the stick it's on is bamboo, right? But it's a plastic tip on it. Yeah. But I'm not digging this one. And I'm sure it's what you get used to, but I don't like this one. So
what's Jedward's International? What is that?
Want to double up to 30 hives.
Well, Bob, I got to call it a night. I got early day.
Yeah, I had a late day yesterday, and then we went to this $1 million home today, so over $1 million home. So we'll see if we get that one or not tomorrow.
Yeah, first day back to work this week.
Is that why you got the beard growing good?
No, I've been growing this ever since they said we were allowed to. Before I couldn't for the last 19 years. We weren't allowed to grow any facial hair.
Right, and now they let you do it.
Yeah.
Ian's like, I couldn't graft if I tried. Yeah, so I keep moisture in the incubator, but I don't feed twice a day in the incubator because I'm not leaving them in the incubator, right? They're only to get hatched in the incubator. And then once they get hatched, I'm moving them out. Oh, okay, where he gets his oils. Double to 12, maybe 15. Need to find another yard. And one day until spring break. So, hey, guess who's? I told you already, but I don't think Flower Street was on here, and I know Ian wasn't on here. But Mr. McNally's coming down, so that'll be fun. Now we just need to get Charlie down here in May, and then
that would be nice.
I told him, "Well, good, you get to work some bees." He just laughed. He's like, "Oh, I gotta work," so I don't know. He's coming down for some training or something down here, so it'll be fun. But we'll get to hang out for a little while, I'm sure, while he's here. He's not working 24 hours. He's coming to thaw out. Yeah, he's coming down for work. The company he works for, International Paper, has a plant here. So it's just, I think the plant we figured out is like 18 miles from my house, but I don't think it's that far. I think somebody was smoking something at Google when they did that. So you don't bank? No. No, I won't bank my virgins at all.
Nah.
My virgins are going into splits, or they're going to Mr. Sam for Mr. Sam splits.
There's Mark.
Ah, where's he at? Oh, there he is. Man, you missed it. The Chinese done stole your idea.
North, what's that? Missouri?
Mm-hmm. Who's the new guy in Bob's chair? Yeah, I know, man. The beard is gone. I look 20 years younger. See, Charlie and I are actually the same age. But I shaved my beard and I look younger. So if they weren't so expensive, that thing would be pretty useful. I just don't think that that I can bring myself to buy those, right?
Thanks a lot, Texas. I'm not that old.
There's Mark. Hey, Mark.
What I miss?
China stole your idea, bro.
China did.
Yep, it was that damn balloon. See, if the Canadians would have shot it down when it came over Canada, they wouldn't have stole your idea. Let me see if I can find it again.
So it's the Canadians' fault.
Well, we got to blame China either way, right? All right. Let's see. So
You say you're in Missouri, Mark?
Yes, sir. It's snowing its butt off up here.
you see this fancy schmancy deal?
Yeah, it looks like one of them things where you collect
But you see this barcode? You scan the barcode with an app, and it gives you the data, the weight, the humidity, the frequency of the colony, and it counts the bees going in and out. I don't know how it figures it out. But then I'm trying to get to it. But then you see all the information on the app, geographical location. I mean, so you could tell if a colony swarmed on you.
Yeah, I wasn't wanting all that. I was just wanting to keep up with the queen. So,
right. But you were talking, I mean, basically with this, you can actually write notes too on your colonies.
yeah.
So it's got like a notes section on here somewhere, but it gives you an alert if the weight changes, right?
I just want a cheaper version of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, but when you said barcode on the colonies and I saw this and it's like, wait a minute, I thought the barcode was just like company advertising. No, the QR code, you scan it and it tells you all the information about that particular colony.
Just whatever you download in it. You're right.
Yeah. Well, that bottom board and that entrance, it does the humidity, the weight, the temperature, right? It does the it counts them going in and out. It tells you the frequency of the bees, like the sound. So yeah, it's this thing is $223 from China. So
Huh. Oh, you couldn't afford to do a whole apiary in it.
no, you couldn't. Well, Ian could. No, I'm just kidding.
The way that glass sticks out there, it looks like one of them glass things that catches venom.
It's a solar panel to keep the batteries charged up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not buying one. If they would send me one, I would test it out to show you guys, but I'm not buying. There's no way.
The bees will land on that solar panel and get it all dirty, and then it won't have enough to do any kind of power.
Could you imagine if that was on Ian's colonies when he first takes them out in the spring, and you've seen the poop fest that goes on up there?
Yeah.
That thing would be covered with doo-doo.
It'd take a week to go around and clean them all.
Bee doo-doo. Carrie would quit. She'd be like, I'm not washing any more bee poop off your solar panels, Ian. Not happening.
He got to have her grafting. She ain't got time to be doing that kind of work.
60 degrees in Willamette Valley today. Yeah, it was it got in the like 72 or something like that here today. But it was freezing when I woke up this morning. So it's kind of been that whole 30, 40 degree temperature swings, you know.
Yeah, I ain't been in my colonies. I wished I'd have put a little bit of feed on some of them smaller ones, but I didn't get around to it. So
might have been backfilling. Like Mike Berry's, they're becoming honey bound or pollen bound.
I ain't had much opportunity to get into them weather wise and work and all that. There ain't been no weather for it.
Yeah, today was a good day for us, Mark. It was about 55 degrees, and actually yesterday evening, it was a little. Well, it was finally the wind was dying down. It was howling up here the last couple of days, and anyway, I went out there to the nukes and I put any sugar bricks on if they needed anything. And then the day I went out and checked the other hives as far as honey frames and stuff, and they got about 5 honey frames or so in there, so they're in good shape. A lot of brood.
I looked at the weather. Of course, you can only see 2 weeks out, and you can't really go by that too well. But I'm looking at March the 22nd.
The week from
yesterday. Yeah, next Wednesday? Something like that.
Yep, next Wednesday.
Maybe get a builder going. I don't know. If I don't do it that Wednesday, it'll be maybe that weekend. I don't know. We'll see. See what they look like first. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I won't start too early either.
You mean like me? Mine. I was planning to have queens grafted by this time, but I mean they are grafted. They're just hatched queens by now, and I haven't had them. So is what it is.
Did you put another graft in, Bob?
Yeah, so I pulled 11 cells yesterday and dropped 20 more grafts in. Just to practice. I mean, I don't know how many of them to take or whatever, but I hate to say I rushed. I didn't. I had an appointment to go to, which actually I was a little bit late because I was grafting queens. So, but hey, they'll have to understand.
You didn't rush the larva size, did you?
No, actually, these were the smallest ones I've ever grafted.
Okay, good.
So
good.
It was like a challenge, even with my glasses. I was like, damn, I got royal jelly, and I'm sitting here with my trifocals on, with my magnifiers on, and I'm looking at the end of my grafting tool to make sure, is she in there? Oh yeah, here, boom. And then it's like sometimes you do it and it doesn't come all the way off of the end. And it was like, damn, did I just like roll her with my tool?
Yeah. Did you prime them or no?
Not these, no.
Yeah.
I just don't have the extra jelly. I could have been robbing them from other cells or something. Some of them, hey, now I'll tell you this: if I scooped and I didn't get a larva on it, yeah, that jelly went in the cup for the graft when I put it in there. But
Right.
I didn't prime it, prime it like that. But they were good looking cells. They were nice juicy cells for the most part.
Well, good.
So we'll see if they come out, And they were actually capped a day earlier than they were supposed to be, because I went in there thinking that I was supposed to pull them yesterday, but my calendar says I was supposed to pull them today, and they were already capped. So
Well, you still got a while, ain't you?
well, this is it says sensitive development stage over the next few days. Monday, I'm supposed to make up queenless nukes. Tuesday, I'm supposed to transfer queen cells to said nukes, but I'm doing the virgin walk-in, so I guess that means Tuesday I need to set them up, or I can set them up Monday, or I can set
What
them
I
up.
do is I try to keep up with the hatch date. That's about all I try to remember. What day they're gonna hatch.
And then I know I'll have 2 sets of grafts in there at the same time, right? So let me see. I'm supposed to pull these other ones Monday, I think. Let me see. Yep, Monday. Supposed to pull these ones on Monday, and these ones will still be in there, haven't hatched yet. But I used different color cups for the ones I grafted yesterday. And so if they're green or yellow, they're the ones I grafted yesterday. And then the other ones are
Blue.
black. They're the black ones. The smoky ones like this.
Yeah.
So,
I ordered some of them yesterday. I ordered some more. Ordered some frames, and they're not going to be even ship them till the 31st or 30th.
who'd you order frames from, if you don't mind me asking?
Man, like I just got regular wooden frames.
They're not shipping them till the 31st?
Yep.
Are they making them as you order them now?
I guess they're behind. I don't know.
Holy
Yeah, Russell. Yeah, my hives are looking good. I was into them today.
What do you think they're using for the end on the Chinese grafting tool? I think, I don't know what this is. You know what is that the little end, what that is? I know this is bamboo, the wood part.
I think it looks like a porcupine quill that's flattened out or something. Man.
I don't know. It's real thin.
I was wondering was some kind of a horn or something,
Yeah.
But, it's more practice, more practice, more practice. That's a huge COVID test strip, Larimore says.
Yeah, I'm ready to start practicing myself.
Do you find when you start back up that it comes right back to you, or does it take you a few rounds to get back?
The first round usually sucks. Yeah, it takes me a round or two to get back in the wing of it.
So that's it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm just having fun with it, guys. I mean, I don't need tons and tons of queens, right? I mean, not right now. I don't, but being able to do it is definitely a technique. If I've got some underperforming colonies, if I've got queens or queen cells like backed up, where you can do what you want to do, makes it a little bit easier, right? At least in my mind, I'm a little bit. If somebody
you got queens in your back pocket, you got some choices.
You got options, right? So the bad thing is I've got a guy that's been wanting to buy a queen, and I'm sure he's probably thinking I'm putting him off, but I'm not. I mean, the weather turned bad, so I can't guarantee that girl is mated, or you know what I mean? like some of the
Yeah.
ones I bought. So
Might take her a little longer, you know.
yeah, I've seen. Well, a lot of people will sand this. Do you sand yours? The little flippy flop thing on the end of your tool, Mark?
Yeah. Yeah. Sand it down, get it thin.
Well, when you got it thin, will it still bend like that? Because I'm ready to throw this one in the damn trash can already after 3 rounds.
Thinner the better for me. I get it down to the point where it's almost cracking in the middle. And then I'll take a pair of scissors and round it off on the end the way I want it.
But it's
I don't particularly care for those. I like the Chinese grafting tool. It's kind of solid, all plastic, but with a nice tip on it.
Yeah.
It has a plunger that's not wood; it's plastic.
I like the cheaper ones that's got the stuff that's wrapped around it, you know, real
it.
cheap one. Yeah, that's the one I like right there. Got the bamboo.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I've got this other one that looks like it's a little more high dollar, but it's got like a plastic plunger on it,
Yeah.
or the push off piece there, whatever you want to call it, instead of the bamboo. Still got a bamboo stick. That's actually feels like it's silicone, but it's not. I don't know. I'm sure it's just what you get used to using, but I don't know. I've ordered 50 more of these things because I can't find the first bag that I bought. I can't find them. I bought them specifically for this. I had a bag of
They're
them.
on that shelf over there.
Where? The shelf behind me somewhere?
Yeah, it's in there someplace.
I thought I set them up there, but I don't.
Well, when you get them in, Bob, send me 10 of them. Pick out 10 good ones.
And me keep the 90 crappy ones that I still get. I think I spent $25 on those things or something from Amazon.
I can't understand. Like, man, like they'll charge you $5 for one of them. Like, come on,
I
people.
know it. It's crazy.
What a bunch of bull.
Yeah.
With a paper clip.
That's like those queen catchers you got there. You can buy the plastic ones, which I like better because you can see the queens on the inside better.
Yeah.
You can buy a bag of like 12 of them, for like
you know
$1.
what I like better than this queen catcher.
Yep.
I'm getting better. Where these things, I'm always fumbling trying to find them, and then I'm worried that I'm gonna crush her when I'm pushing this thing down on her. I can just go, oh, there she is. Grab her by the little wing or wings or leg or whatever, and I hit her with that paint pen today. The problem is with the one that I marked today, I didn't let it dry quite long enough, and the other bees walking over and stuff are like dragging stripes on her, and it's like, okay, I gotta do that better next time. But
well, if you're handling them virgins, you'll get good at handling queens.
oh, it's the easiest thing ever.
Yeah.
When I pulled the last ones out of the incubator, I took here's one. I took the cup off, right? Put my finger on the hole. I set it on the desk. She walks up. Usually she'll walk on your hand and everything, right? And you just grab her. I put the dot on her. I walked her right back in the cage, put my thumb on it, and then took the little pluggy deal and just plugged the bottom of it with the honey in the bottom and put them back on my little stand. Those stands have been working pretty good too. That's the cheapest hack I've ever done.
Yeah.
Wherever I did with the other ones.
I like to lay my hand down on something solid where I'm still, and then bring the other finger down and bounce it on my hand, and then come down where I'm not up here shaking.
Right.
Everything's leaned up against something,
Stabilize it.
Yeah, makes it easier.
But that
way you don't mess up.
Taking those other bars that I have, whatever I did with them, well, they're all glued now from that Chinese grafting frame that I had, and taking those and hot gluing them to those little pieces of wood. Best thing ever. The only thing that's not good about it is the you know, these things cost me $3 at Walmart. These little wood slats in the craft section, wood
Yeah.
slats, and I was able to put 2 rows of not these particular ones, but the other. They had half, right? So the other ones I had with that Chinese piece came in, they broke in half in the middle. They separated. So I just took those and hot glued them, one on each side, one half of each frame on each side.
Yeah.
And then I was able to take this, would fit right on, plug right into it. So it's just my little
What,
hack.
after looking at what you did, why can't you get like some dowel rod to fit that hole the same as that plastic right there?
Probably
The
could.
part, and then just take the dowel rod on a chop saw and cut you
Just
100 of them.
fit in there, a little nipple, and
Yeah, and then
do the
just
same
glue
thing.
them to a piece of plywood or something and make you 100 of them.
Yep.
Where they set right down in your incubator.
And better than that would have been if the way that I have it now, though, I can't put 2 rollers like side by side. I have to skip one space on them.
Yeah.
What did I do with the damn extra ones?
But you could make it where it'd work right, couldn't you? I mean,
Oh yeah, if I had the dowels you're talking about,
yeah.
could definitely do that. Okay, so here we go. So the other grafting frame that I had, the Chinese one with the yellow plastic ends. I don't lose this.
Mark, you see that he wants to get a hold of you to get some queens from you.
I can't read the chat, Charlie.
It's making dream bees. He wants to, Mark's. How do you get how do you get a hold of you to purchase a couple of Corey queens?
Just shoot me an email. Bob's got my email address. It's flashm.meal@yahoo.
So, yeah, if I just had a nipple, I mean, this is how they just stick on here, right? So this is wide enough that it won't wobble, right? And it's thin enough so it's not too tall to go in my incubator.
I bet the dowel rods would work, make you a real good one, where you could get a whole bunch of them on there.
And now I basically put one on each side right around the little heater thing in the middle. So when the lid's on it, it sets down in there. But that
did they get that email, Charlie?
was
I
it
don't know.
flash
Bob,
m dot? I'll put it in the chat.
put it in the chat.
Flash m dot mill, right?
At Yahoo, yes, sir.
At yahoo.com.
And then I'll leave me your phone number and I'll get back with you.
Splits right now should be strong by fall. Yep, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I bet Spanky could run one of them in that thing he's got and make a nice one.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be that tall, right? It just has to plug a roller cage in the bottom.
Right. You want it shorter, actually. You don't want it real tall. Because some incubators ain't that tall, you know?
Right. Well, and that's just for the chicken egg incubator, right? So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been using, because I know you were talking about the 2x4 and you were doing the hole in the 2x4. But this right here, I mean, I literally just hot glued it to the wood.
Right. Yep.
But it's
That'll work.
I mean, $3.
All you want is a way for keep them from falling over. That's all.
And yeah, my thing, I'm more worried about me hitting the thing and knocking the whole damn thing somewhere, you know. So I'm trying to stay out of everything as much as I can. And
He's got it, Mark.
Okay.
Guy, his handle's making dream bees.
Making
So
dream.
what about the Corey Stephen? I know you bought his breeder queens and stuff. What do you find about his queens? What's
Special.
nice about
What
them?
makes them special?
What's the special?
I ain't really had time to do a whole lot of testing, Bob or Charlie, like I want.
Aren't they
'Cause I
kind of
didn't get her.
hygienic or whatever? Or
Yeah, yeah, they're supposed to be specifically hygienic to where they go in and get the mama having the babies. So,
yeah,
but see, I didn't get her till late in the year, so I got some post summer Celsius queens off of her, but that's about it. So, hadn't really got to check them the way I want to check them yet.
yeah, you haven't had a season to do that yet.
Yeah. Well, they ain't got big enough either. I mean, they're in a 10 frame deep, but, I ain't even thrown the feed to them yet.
Cut them apart and glue them back down. That's an idea too. I didn't think about that. Could always just cut these apart with like a Dremel or something. Then you got a bunch of nipples, right? And you just stick the nipples down to spaced out as they need to be.
But, Charlie, I think I'm going to run them till I get my honey off and then check them and not treat them until then. And then check them, and then I'll know. I should have mites by then, right? For sure. That'll give me a good idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna get as many F1s as I can off of her.
Let's see. Now, his breeder queens, what are they? A few $100s a piece?
I don't know what they are now.
He said I saw a post where he's like almost sold out for this year.
He's not really doing any breeder queens. That's just it.
He's selling virgins this year, right? He's not.
Yeah, and he's almost sold out of them.
Well,
I sent him a text and told him, said, well, when you get behind, just pull the trigger, buddy, and I'll run you 1,000 of them.
That's the $350 is what he's charging for a breeder.
I mean, it's the same queens, right?
Right.
Same stuff. I've got number 35. So I jumped in early.
My thing last year I did that. I got like a bunch of different genetics and stuff, and a lot of them just didn't do very well over the winter, even my real strong ones. So,
well, all I can tell you so far is all the ones I've got have an excellent brood pattern. They're mated with my bees that I got out there now, right? So,
right.
And I'm just going by that, So
Now, are you?
And I was very impressed with that.
Are you mailing your virgins, or are you people just picking them up?
It's ever how they won't do it.
Now, don't you have to have the special box to ship them in and all that?
Well, it depends on how many they get.
So
you can put it in that one of them big envelope things and just punch a bunch of holes around it.
see, that seems like I wouldn't mind doing some of that stuff, but I don't know. It just seems like the risk is all there, right? So you put them in the mail. It's Virgin Queen. She gets there, or she might get there DOA, right? Dead on arrival. And then the customer.
I'll send you another one if she's dead.
But then you got to pay shipping again.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, what are you selling virgins for?
If you get 10 or more, they're $20.
So you're selling them that's pretty good. Down here, virgins are going for like $15 a piece. What are they going for up there, Charlie?
I'm gonna sell them for $20.
You're selling them for 20.
$10. I've been selling queen cells for 10 and virgins for 20. I mean, there's not that many people. I mean, I'm one of a very few in our counties doing queens.
Right.
Well, see, that's I haven't advertised, right? I haven't put up that
You don't need to advertise.
I don't.
The word
I
gets
don't
out,
advertise.
and they're going to be hammering on you, Bob.
Yeah, I don't advertise either because I'm a busy man. You know,
Well, that's
if
the thing.
I've already probably got 200 of them sold, Bob, and I ain't even really tried. But I mean, if I get 1,000 or 2,000 of them sold, I ain't no way I can keep up.
Yeah, I mean, that's my thing right now is, first of all, I don't ever know what I'm gonna have, right? I mean, I know I've got cells out there right now. I mean, if people wanted cells, I could sell them some cells, but it's like I need my first few, to come back mated and be ready to go.
I've got a couple of neighbors that's got 50 hives, and they're going to want cells, and they're going to want mated queens, and they'll come by, throughout the year wanting stuff. So
they got 3 virgins for 40 where Mike's at. So that's less than $15 a piece, right? Because 3 would be 45. So I guess, and that's the thing. I've asked people, I'm like, well, what do you want? Do you want cells? Do you want virgins, or do you want mated? Oh, we want mated. But you're a beekeeper. The difference is a week, really.
Yeah, everybody wants mated queens, don't they? And they want them first thing, April 1st.
Right. Ain't happening.
I can't do that where I'm at. Can't
well, my thing is with this guy, he's a beekeeper, right? And he needs a queen for a cutout that he did. I'm like, well, why don't you just take a frame of eggs and brood and larvae? Because you've been waiting for me for 2 weeks. They would have already had queen cells in there.
Right.
Ready to hatch out. They would have made a queen out of whatever you picked it from. But hey, don't mind me. I'll take your money when I get one that's mated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll do it, but it's just like I understand if, like, I go out to one of my and maybe this is the whole difference between grafting mindset and beekeeping before grafting, right? So before grafting, I was the same way. Hey, I can go get a mated queen, put her in, done deal. Don't have to worry about it that much, once they release her and all that, everything's good. But now that even on a limited amount of success, well, now I've got 11 queens that I could choose from to put in there, right? So, or sell. So that's
you can sell 11 virgins right now, or wait and get 8 back and sell 8 mated ones.
Well, the idea was hopefully by the time these cells hatch, that the ones that I have in my mate nukes out there will be mated, right? Now I'll cage them, make a split, introduce them a brand new mated queen for them to go. Well, now their colony is queenless. So now I've got 5 I can drop in there to start that process again, right? And make some more.
Yep.
I don't think it's too early to have good mated queens here. I've got a big, fat, juicy queen that is in one of my colonies right now because I made the mistake of moving that one queen to that poly hive, right? And the poly hive is the one that I'm actually taking her eggs to graft from, but the cell that was made with what was left behind in there, they raised the queen. She went out and got mated, and she's a big fat girl in there walking around. So I don't think so. I mean, if queens are swarming, if hives are swarming, they know what time it is. They're like, well, we're leaving eggs behind and brood because it's time for us to move on.
Yeah, if they're swarming, your weather and everything else is fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
Lamore wants to know a difference to make between the length of the cell and all that. Not really.
No, I've seen little squatty queens that do real good, and I've seen big
Yeah.
fat girls that do good too.
Yeah, you can't really tell. I've had little ones that was just dynamite.
Well, I mean, something like that—that's about average size queen
Yeah,
cell.
that's good looking cell.
Of course, she was stung and dead in the bottom. But hey,
Yeah,
that's user error. But
yeah.
but the ones I got now, I mean, they look pretty good. I mean, time will tell, right? How they actually are. But the good thing is, guess what? If she sucks, I got more cells coming behind her.
That's
So
it.
it's like just keep it going. So that's kind of the goal.
I mean, when it comes to selling bee or queens, I found like the last couple of years I've been selling cells. Well, then you'll get the ones and say they'll come into you, the buyer, and well, they were duds, and maybe some of them were, and then I would back them up, But now this year I'm like, okay,
it's a risk. It's the reason you're getting the cheap price is because that risk went from me to you, right? So instead of me having to wait for them to hatch as virgins, that's why the price goes up. Now we're a little bit further in the step, right? So now you're
work involved.
That's what I'm going to do is I'm gonna hatch virgin, and I'll sell a virgin.
And then you get the virgin. Well, there's still a chance that she doesn't come back mated, but that's why it's cheaper than buying the mated one.
Yeah.
Right.
So
well, if you buy 100 of them from me, Bob, I'll make you a good offer on 100 of them.
I sold 100 queens last year that I went and bought from another breeder, right? Mated queens. I banked them. People were buying them constantly. But I mean, if you get $12 a queen versus $40 a queen profit, that's the difference in the whole thing. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey.
You on tea break?
Yes, I'm tea break now, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about virgins, and that's very interesting for me, guys, because like Charlie pointing, good point, $20 you're selling. That's very good point, because you don't want to get them too cheap. Your work, you don't do that all for free. If you want to sell it for tenner, I will leave that queen for myself. And I got friends. My friend
is people they will whore their bees out. I mean, they don't care. I mean, they will sell them cheap, and they'll sell everything they got, right? And I wait for them to sell out. And once they're sold out, that's my money. Whether it's honey,
absolutely,
or whether it's queens or nukes. I'm not advertising nukes. You know when I'm going to start advertising nukes? As soon as I know the bee store has distributed all their nukes. And that's when I'll start.
That's good point. Very good idea. Well, thing is, say this. I sold quite a few nukes last year, and I didn't advertise anything. People come from a club. People have previous year queens from me. They come back to me and say, "Can we have nukes from you?" And the fun is, actually, guy who bought some 2 nukes last year, he wants 3 nukes this year again. He said the bees are absolutely crackers, and I was like, "Oh, wow, thanks very much." So the virgin queens, I got a friend. He's in Poland. He doing run about 5,000 queens of virgins a year. He breeding. Okay, he actually just been advertised a few weeks ago. And he's full up nearly 2,000 queens is already on the paper, dates when they will have to be roughly, when they be ready, everything. Because that is the biggest money. A lot of beekeepers, big beekeepers, they want the virgins. They don't want mating queens. Because it's easy to put a virgin, mated. You put mated, sometimes it can be happen, especially when you're doing lots of nukes. You could be not accepting in there. You could get a lot of, interesting things going in the hives. Virgin, after 7 days, the nukes is with no queen, that will be accepting without 95% they will be accepting that. So Mark could tell you, he's an expert of queens, he could tell you that. Mark, do you do breeding lots of queens, virgins?
I breed as many as I can.
See, where you go. So I will post next week actually about Virgin Queens in my area in UK, which that will go mad because my Mikey done it up in North. It's probably 450 miles away from me. Last year he bred 400 queens virgin, and he only 2 days before the hatch he actually post on the group, and he was sold, put gone. One guy turned up one day. He said, "How many queens you have?" He said, "Oh, 20 something." He said, "I cannot have all of them,"
Right.
and he's selling for £20. So £20 is what, $25?
25, $25 or so. Yeah.
Yeah. So where you go? $15 is too cheap. That's like a queen cell.
Yep.
You know, you're looking a lot of good guys looking for quality queens as well. So it's different when you get virgins from people where they don't know what's coming from. But if you get queens, you pay money for the queens. It's makes sense go buy to me from Mark or Charlie, or buy from someone what I don't know. I will not go to someone. I will go to Mark or Charlie because I know their queen's good. I will go
Right.
to them,
Right.
and that's how I look in quality number one. You remember?
Yeah, I last year I think the weather was crappy and I couldn't graft as much and
Well, I
this
could grab
this year
every day.
I really want to get on it and really do it, you know.
And two, like
Yeah.
Bob here, I try to support Bob. Bob tries to support me,
Right.
Yeah.
vice versa, So
Well, I've got people that
it's who you like and what you like, right?
bought queens from me last year that are saying, "Hey, I could use 3 mated queens or three," but they all, like you said, want mated, and you got to kind of educate them that, hey, mated is great. However, if you've got successful bees in your apiary, you're taking a good queen that has been mated from a good stock, right? And then you're putting it in your apiary to make
Absolutely. Yeah.
your good drones. And now you've got something
Yeah.
pretty specific to your area, right? Even if it's a few miles down the road or whatever. But everybody wants the mated queen. But I'll tell you what, the virgins that I have got, the cells out there, or the ones that have come back from taking queen cells and split, they're doing fine. I mean, their first year and they're going pretty insane right now. Even Amir, we went through a colony. He's like, man, she is going crazy in there, just laying everything she can fit a egg into,
Yeah.
So we had to give them more room
Right.
and stuff. So
Well, you got the example Mark mentioned before. He mentioned about people wants queens mated in the 1st of April in your area. Why? Because they want sell the nukes. That's what they want. They will,
Right.
get split and put them in the selling nukes. That's
They
why they
want to
want
take a
first of the week.
$45 queen and make 200 off of her.
Yeah,
What they want to do.
exactly. Yeah,
hey, I
yeah.
did it last
So
year.
100,
I mean,
well, that's so in UK we have people importing queen from Italy, Sicily, and Greece, and you can have them in the first week of April. You don't know what quality they are, so.
right.
And so I'm not interested
Right.
to guy,
That's
but
for sure.
I'm going to breed myself. So that's the best thing you could do.
I think
I've had the same issue with nukes that I've bought, right? We've had this discussion. Nukes that I've bought, they're real powerful in the nuke box. You put them in the colony, they blow up. Boom. Exploded last year. But then over winter, they did terrible. I mean, just terrible. Compared to my other ones, they got the same mite treatments. They got everything the same. But you don't know how old that girl is that you just bought,
Right.
No, that's right.
The nukes that I sold last year were first year mated queens. Not mine, right? But I made the nuke, put in a queen, and let them go, and the guys that bought my nukes, I didn't get any complaints. You know, I always made sure they had plenty of bees in there. If the night before when I made that nuke up, I actually make the nuke a few days ahead of time, right? And let them fall and start building themselves up. And then the night before they come to pick it up, I look in there. If they don't look right, I take some more nurse bees, shake them into another pro nuke, let the foragers fly out, and I add some bee power in there for them, you know, just to I try to sell a nuke that I would want to buy. You know, if I wouldn't buy it, then I wouldn't expect someone else to buy it. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, not everybody thinks that way. I mean,
Charlie's on popcorn. Are you, Charlie? Popcorn?
What's that?
he had some
Popcorn?
Nah, yeah, I had
Charlie's-
some popcorn and some and the pretzels there.
But
Yeah, so, but
Well,
Anyway.
so we get temperatures coming finally now up to 15 for next 2 weeks. So that's very good promising. So, but we are behind, like 3 weeks behind. Yeah, we're 3 weeks behind already. So,
well, right now, I'm
but my bees not behind. They're not behind.
right now. I was kind of glad to see a little cold snap because, like, they're talking about drones eating a lot. I'm good. You know, right now, eat some of the stuff that they got stored in there to give her more room to lay.
Right.
More room to lay in there.
And they will. They will. The more hatches out, they'll get it eat up.
And I
Yeah,
even
they will
added
drones. Yeah.
box today. So just trying to get them. I get her to lay up as much of those 3 boxes she's got on there now. So when I go to start splitting, I've got plenty of resources to start pulling, right?
Yeah. See, I'm in La La Land. I don't know whether I want to do this little pollination gig or just use my colonies for resources. I probably make more off of just using them for resources than I would if I carried them 35 miles away and left them.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I don't like that. I had a secondary apiary at a guy's house, something like 5 miles away, and what a pain that was going over there to look them over, and then you would forget something, or you would take a bunch of stuff and load your truck up, and then get there, and then you really didn't need any of it, and then come home and have to unload everything.
Yeah.
And I
Still got swarm traps in the back of my truck.
Well, I've got a bee truck especially for that, and I can back it in the barn, so I don't have to unload it that day. But I have 3 yards, and this yard's 35 miles away or so, and he wants to do a he wants them there by May the second week of May to pollinate watermelons. And then he wants to do a fall crop of watermelons. So he wants them there all year.
So how much is he paying to do that?
He don't want to pay nothing, just like the rest of them, but he's going, you know,
No.
if he would pay me for each individual crop, yeah, I might could do it, but still you ain't making no money.
Well, I mean, if you got to drive 35 miles, just the gas to get back and forth. I mean, you're wasting money doing that. They could sit in your yard for nothing, you know.
It's just gonna be a pain in the ass, is what it's gonna be.
I wouldn't do it, not unless
not worth it. Not worth it.
The only reason
it's just not my gig, you know. I like to raise queens, and I can take them hives and use them resources and make nukes and queens out of.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, see, that's my
thing.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing to do now.
I've got that.
And the thing of it is, the people come to you. They come to you. You don't have to go to them.
Right.
I've got that chestnut grove up the road, but that's where those nukes that I'm getting from Florida are going to go, right? So that's the it's an out yard, but I pass it every day 2 times, right? So it's not like if I loaded up my stuff, I'm going a couple miles away, maybe 3 miles, just far enough to where they don't intermingle with my bees, of course. But it's I don't charge them because I'm utilizing them like an out yard, an extra yard, and
Right.
it's right on my way every day. So it's not like I'm going a special different direction that I would normally travel or something like that.
Well, I mean, you could make splits and take them over there and park them there for a week or two, and it'll help you out.
Yep.
But no,
But you're only looking at, he only wants 10 hives. It's 10 acres. It's just not enough there to really make it worthwhile.
No.
Well,
No,
it'd be
no.
different if you had like a one of those small, even lawn and like the little metal pull behind trailers that you would pull a lawnmower on or something. The
Yeah,
small,
I've got the trailers, Bob, but I really don't even want to tie my trailers up. I've got 3 trailers,
right.
but I really rather not tie them up either.
well,
What
that's
if I
like,
start a project and I need one,
Right.
yeah, Jason over there at Bohemia Bees, he bought a trailer. It's made for bee pollination, where he can put so many beehives down each side, and then you can walk up through the middle and work on the bees.
All right, I'm off,
And,
guys. So
All right, Sebastian. We'll talk to you later, brother.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get out of here too.
yeah.
But
So see you Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I will get Mike Barry, and and Mr. Ashby Miller. So Ashby Miller Farm. Both of them we will get it. So big interesting live chat. So be spring managements,
Yeah,
swarms.
Ashby, he's a miller too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you a family?
No, I don't think so. We probably are though, somewhere down the line.
Yeah. Anyway, have a nice one, guys. See you later. Nice to
all
talk
right,
to you.
see you later.
See you. Bye bye.
The well, Corey Stevens is going on with Grayson.
Yeah,
this
Grayson's
next week.
getting a bunch of subs lately.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, he's getting subs, but it's interesting to watch him interact with people that are like way more experienced, right?
Right.
And I try when I have somebody on a stream to give them their say, right? The reason people are coming is to see those people, not listen to me. They're coming.
Right.
If we had Corey Stevens on this stream, people are coming to see Corey. They're not coming to see me. They hear me every week, right? So it's like you ask a question, then you let them talk.
Yeah.
And then you ask another question, you let them talk. You don't try to be that guy. At least I try not to be that guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
you don't try to tell them what to do. They're trying to tell you what to do.
Right. Take the information, absorb it in.
One thing I like about you, Bob, you don't quit, and you're consistent. And to come on here as much as you do, you've got to be consistent.
It shows you how much of a life I don't have, right? But the thing is, I enjoy doing this and talking to everybody. It's just that
but you got goals in mind too.
I've actually got
your little website up.
I've gotten the hey, could you try not to go live when other people are scheduled to go live? I'm not scanning YouTube to see all the live chats when I go live, and now there's more and more people going live.
Oh yeah, I mean they see what we're doing, and then everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon.
Well, I mean, even the stream team, okay, so they used to do their stream once a week, but now Greg's got his own stream on the outside of the stream team, and now Bruce is doing interviews and uploading videos with those interviews outside of the stream. And then now we got Mike Berry doing some lives when he's in the yard, and David Burns is doing lives. It's like
David took the Thursday nights off.
Yeah, so I'm not scanning YouTube to say, well, David Burns is going live tonight. I'm not going live. Now, if I don't feel like going live, I'm not going to go live if it happens to be that. But if I go live and David Burns is live, okay, we really have two different, in my opinion, two different
levels of expertise.
Yeah, so if people are watching him and don't come to us until after or whatever, that's fine. That's y'all's choice or whatever. I'm not saying don't go watch theirs and come watch ours. I'll hang out with whoever who's here, and that's how we'll do it. But I try not. Yeah, I'm just not going through and scanning all of YouTube to see who's live and and stuff like that. Different styles, definitely. My thing was originally, and it still is, my opinion is people come for the content and stay for the personalities, right? There's no way we could go for 6 hours if people didn't like to hang out and laugh a little bit. And we talk about bees, but then we talk about stuff that's maybe not so bee related, and like leather treatment for your gloves or something, whatever it is. And that's how I like to do it.
I'm making up some t-shirts. I got a boy making up some t-shirts if you're interested in them. It's gonna be VSH Mafia.
The VSH.
And on the back I got mites grows on chicken butt.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a few of them and see how they go.
Well,
of course, I don't have a website or nothing, so
you could also do print on demand stuff too. That's how I usually do my shirts, where I just upload the design and then send people to a link, and they can go buy them if they choose to. That's I
can always send one out when I send 10 queens or more. You join the mafia, you bought the queens, right?
You bought the queens, you joined the mafia. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's the goals, and aspirations this year is to grow and make a little bit here and there and see how it goes. Swarm lure was doing real good while the weather was all hot and people were posting pictures of their swarms out there, so people were rushing to get swarm lure to bait their boxes up. Now it's kind of slowed down a little bit, and then we got the graph or the queen marking pins in, and that started doing good on the website. I have not sold not one set of queen marking pins on Amazon, and the only one that's got it on there, the only one that's got this listed as queen marking set in beekeeping supplies. Not one sale off of Amazon on the pins. So, and if my website says I don't have them, it's only because I allocated more to Amazon inventory because I thought they would sell more over there, but I can turn that down and add it back to mine. So I've got plenty. I got a damn case of them.
Well, as soon as you had it on there, it was on there 18 seconds, and I ordered them.
Oh yeah, you ordered them. Charlie's ordered them. We sold probably 11 or 12 of them. 11 or 12 sets. It's almost broke even.
Good.
Almost.
Good.
Not quite. A few more. I need to sell about 25 of them to break even or so, somewhere in that. Actually, probably more than that because I didn't mark them up as that much. So I know it seems like it, but when you start buying, I bought 250 pins. So that was not cheap,
I bet.
It's the risk versus reward thing.
Right. It's business.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. I got to get up. I'm tired. So.
All right, Charlie.
Charlie, take care, buddy.
Mark, you ate fresh tonight from the subway from the pilot station?
Yeah, I just had a big Subway sandwich.
Was it from a pilot or from what truck stop was it?
It was a mini mall.
Mini mall.
Yeah.
So you sleeping in the truck tonight in a sleeper?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right.
When I used to drive, we didn't have APUs back then, right? So we had to. idled the truck when it was cold outside or whatever. Now that's highly frowned upon. You know.
Yeah.
I don't ever cut the truck off.
And
I mean, you get cold like that, it might not start in the morning.
That's right.
the anti-gel formula in the
It don't matter. It don't matter about that. It's fact of the matter is that diesel gets cold. It's a bitch to get started.
he said,
Yeah.
make sure you keep the lot lizards out. You go to New York City, you don't even need to go to a lot. I pulled up in Manhattan, right? I pulled down there, right on the road. It was an on the road delivery, right? You just pull up on the street and they come out with the forklift and take it off the back of the truck. And as soon as I stopped, someone trying to pull my other door open, right? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need none of that. Thank you.
Times have changed, Bob.
Yeah, it's
There's more men out here now than women.
Hmm.
It's pitiful.
All right, I'll see y'all guys later.
all right, Charlie.
See ya.
But yeah, I thought about. Matter of fact, that was kind of what my wife and I were talking about doing when the kids got out, just putting our stuff in storage and going teams over the road, you know. And
Yeah, I've done that for a little while. I've done that for about 2 years. Got burnt out.
And then well, then my mom got sick, so it changed the whole plan, right? So
Yeah.
now I don't even have a CDL anymore. So on Amazon, I can drop the link, I think.
Well, you're getting quite a bit of stuff on your little website there now.
Yeah, I'm trying, I'm trying to get stuff that I use, right? That's useful, but that doesn't take up a lot of space, a lot of storage in my house.
Right.
And I love those Carousel cups, but they're a pain. They're not a pain in the butt to ship. What's a pain in the butt is when you got a Carousel cup and then a swarm lure, because the box that I have to put it in is much larger than than what it needs to be. I haven't found one that's small enough to put that in, where it's tall enough for the cup and whatever else I'm putting in there. So these things, I love these things. These little bubble mailers, I could put a set of pins in here. Matter of fact, I sent something to, I forget who ordered it. They got a swarm lure, 6 bullets, and 2 packs of Apis Biologic and queen marking pins. All of it fit in this one pouch. And I was able to put it right in the mailbox and send it out. But when I start doing boxes, they won't fit in my mailbox. I have to take them and drop them off, right? So, oh yeah. I used to do CDL back before 9/11, and I had hazmat and reefer. I was doing running reefers for CR England, and I don't know. It's not, when I say 75,000 miles trucking, to a non-trucker, that'll sound like a lot of miles. To Mark, that's like, oh, you were there for like 9 months, And that's about how long I was there, about 9 months.
Yeah, I've almost got 3 million.
Well, at the time,
No accidents. 3 million almost.
the thing was, over the road with CR England, first of all, they didn't pay the most, right? They sent me, I went to their truck driving school and did all that. And the funny thing was, Mark, if you and I started at CR England and you went to another truck driving school and I went to CR England's truck driving school at the same time, and we both ended up at CR England working, CR England would have paid you tuition reimbursement for your truck driving school. But because I went to CR England's, I had to pay CR England for that schooling. which made
Yeah.
no sense to me. I'm like, well, if I'm working
That's-
for you, then you should, if you're going to pay Mark for his school, why wouldn't you pay back my school? Right? Instead of me paying you every week out of my non-existent paycheck that you're giving me.
Right.
It didn't
Yeah,
make
it's.
sense.
I don't see how so many people drive that cheap.
No,
I don't.
I think at that time I was making, if we were both rookie drivers coming off the road and you went somewhere else, you were making to a different school, you were making 25 cents a mile. And I was making 22.5 cents a mile to pay back my school. And they were taking that little bit, right? But
Yeah.
if you're getting 3,000 miles a week, you got to look at it. I mean, 22.5 cents a mile is only $225 per thousand, right? So you're making $750. The tax man's getting theirs, and then, oh yeah, you got to eat out there. Which food on the truck stops is not cheap. You know, I ate so many of them damn burritos, those XXL burritos. While I was out there, man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of the cheapest things you could grab, you know. Eating in the truck stop, very rarely. Like once a week I would eat like at a truck, you know, actually go in and sit down and eat at a truck stop. Because
Now you don't have time. See, back then you had paper logs,
right.
and you could dig them paper logs around and make it. You know, you can start over.
I think
but-
Werner or somebody was the only person that had digital logs at the time. And everybody's like,
Right.
screw that. I'm not going to work for them because they know every single time your truck's running and all that. Now everybody's
Yeah.
got it. But
Now when you hit that button, the race is on. You
Yeah.
know, you've got so many hours to get as many miles as you can. It's a race.
I did.
You don't have time to sit down and eat.
So I worked my logs backwards back then. If the
Yeah.
company said I could average 65 miles an hour and I could drive 10 hours, well, that's 650 miles. So however long that I had to drive to get in 650 miles for that day, whether I drove 300, took a nap, got up, I mean, it was crazy. My thing was, I was always going. I'd go to the bathroom, take my shower, whatever, grab something to eat, ate in the truck, drank in the truck, half the time pissed in the truck, right? Gatorade bottles and close the thing, pull off the side of the road, you know, something like that. And it was like just to keep that truck moving. And it still was like not making, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
oh my gosh, nowadays it's a little bit different, but it's still, it's not easy work, you know. Plus, people will jump in front of you, cut you off, and hit their brakes, not realizing it takes you 3 football fields with 53,000 pounds in the back to stop, right?
Right.
My trainer flew out of his bunk so fast we was coming through. This is how it worked. Went to school, picked me up at the West Valley City at the company, right? We drove out of the city, and literally my first run, we had to be from Utah to Massachusetts in like just over 24 hours, right? So we were against the delivery clock, right? So he got us out and he's like, I got to go to bed. And so he wasn't sitting up while I was driving. He was in the sleeper and I'm driving, right? And first time I'm ever out there, and we get to the city and traffic stops. So I'm jaking it, hitting the jake. And as soon as I hit that jake and he felt the lurch of it slowing down, man. He came flying out of there like Superman into the front. I'm like, what are you doing, man? I got this, you know? And, but he's like, oh, okay, great. I just need to make sure we wasn't going to slam into something. But then he does. I actually had a backing accident at a truck stop, like first couple weeks that I was with him, because we were in the sleeper and someone comes banging, hey, I can't get out. Can you move the truck? sure, we can move the truck, right? So he gets me in the driver's seat, and he's watching the mirrors like from in between the two seats, right? He's watching the mirrors. He's like, all right, go back, go back, go back, go back, right? And I'm backing up, and next thing I'm like smashing this FLD that's behind us in the truck stop, right? And about kill a guy in the damn sleeper. I know that guy shit himself. You know, and we had to then, after we made our delivery, we had to go back for safety training, you know, and they're like, well, what happened? I said, well, I was in the driver's seat, and my trainer is telling me he didn't get out. He should have got out and guided me, right? But no, he's in the seat, and he's like, okay, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Okay, that's good. All right, now pull back up, right? So I pull back up, and by that time we done crushed the FLD behind us, and it's like, well, and you can't feel it. You cannot feel it when you got 53,000 pounds in that trailer. You don't feel nothing. You're backing up just like you're backing your Toyota Prius up, and it, you know, you don't feel it at all. So, but good thing nobody was killed, and that was the most egregious thing that happened when I was out on the road.
Just yesterday, the road was shut down, and somebody ran up underneath the school bus.
Really?
Shut the road down in front of me. I seen the helicopter coming. It lit the road. I don't know if it killed the guy or what. You know.
Well, I had one of my friends, and her entire family was on vacation, and traffic came to a stop, and they stopped behind a tractor trailer, and another tractor trailer, I don't know if he was texting or what he was doing, but he slammed into the back of them and drove their car right up under the back of the tractor trailer and wiped out their whole family. I was like, are you serious right now? I mean, every single time you go to the depot, that's what you got a safety brief all the time, and they talk about following distance and preventable accidents. And first of all, that's the first thing you learn in tractor trailer school. There are no unpreventable accidents.
You're always the one that caused it. If you're driving a truck, you're always the guilty one.
Professional driver. You're supposed to be looking for those things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. But my wife and my kids were little, and they were like, yeah, we can't do this anymore with you being gone. And at that time, I was gone 3 weeks and would come home for 3 days and then go back out for 3 weeks, you know.
It's a heck of a sacrifice when you got little ones, I know. But if you stick it out, you know, and get you several years on her, it does get better. It gets better.
Well,
I don't know if it gets better or you just get smarter.
Or just get tired of fighting them.
Yeah.
You just got wore out and gave up. You're like, all right, just send me, what's my next delivery? And that's the other thing that would bug me, right? So you're getting paid by the mile. So if you get into somewhere like, where was I? I had to go to Minneapolis or Minneapolis, St. Paul, that area. And I was in Wisconsin, not Green Bay, but like right on 80, right, like not far from Minnesota, right? And you pull in there on a Friday and you get there early enough and you're like, hey, anyway, I can drop this load today. No, we can't get you today. You have to come on Monday. Now you're stuck at this truck stop for the whole weekend with nothing to do. You can go in the truck stop and watch NASCAR or whatever they got going on in there, do your laundry and stuff like that, but you're making no money. Matter of fact, you're spending money because you're at the truck stop with nothing to do. And
you got to eat.
Yeah, so that's the...
Yeah, what I do now is I work for a local company, and I've got like 15 drivers that I'm in charge of, and I carry their stuff to them. They run the grocery stores,
Right.
and I'm just a shuttle driver. I'm bringing it to them.
And doing their drop
And,
and hook, and you'll pick
and
their
then,
empty trailer up and bring it back.
well, I'll just pick up whatever we need for the plant. Like if we need boxes or plastic or whatever they need, I'll haul that back and
Right.
then go home, go to bed, get up, do it again.
So how many nights a week are you actually out overnight, like yard to night?
I sleep in a truck 2 nights a week.
Well, that's
That's
not
pretty
terrible.
good. Pretty good deal. Yeah.
So you're more what they would consider a regional driver then.
Right.
Some of these guys got it pretty good to where they'll just. I had a buddy of mine that was working for a company delivering the mail, so he would go and pick up a mail trailer, and he would drive to Jacksonville, which is like 5 hours away, drop a trailer, grab a trailer, and drive it back up here, and he was done for the day. He would do that every day. Well, every day that he was working, that's what he would do. So, I mean, he had it pretty good. He was making good money for that. I think it was called MSA was who he was working for at the time. And that's the other thing I found when I was in, there was no company loyalty. It's like, hey, if I'm dragging a box, it doesn't matter. Whoever's paying me more money, that's whose box I'm dragging this week. You know?
Yeah. See, now I'm like, instead of worrying about the mileage, like our business is up in the winter, but slows down in the summer, right? In the spring, it gets slower. So now I'm just doing a guaranteed minimum.
Right.
And like in the spring when it slows down, that gives me more home time to keep bees or whatever I'm going to do.
Right.
I get in Tuesday and Wednesday pretty early, got a little time, get in decent time Friday. I've got Saturday and Sunday. I don't have to leave out till Monday morning at midnight.
Right.
So,
yeah, I used to do that too. I would schedule one thing. I tell you what, I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I picked up a load in the afternoon. I'm like, you know what? I could go straight to Chicago, but that's going to put me there right at rush hour, and I don't want to be in Chicago at rush hour. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep, wake up at midnight, and then leave. You know what? I hit bumper to bumper traffic at 3 a.m. in Chicago. I was so pissed. It's like that was a day, just a wasted day, and you don't get paid for that either. That's sitting in traffic stuff. You don't get paid for that. So.
See, I got tired of just driving around in circles because that's what you was doing. You was just, you don't know where you're going tomorrow. Well, I know next week what I'm going to do already. I'll do the same thing I do every week. So I like that.
Well,
I like it.
I'll tell you, this is how England works. I can't speak for everybody. This is how England works. So I'm in South Carolina. My trucking school was in Spartanburg, South Carolina, right? So I went up there and stayed there for a few weeks, learning how to drive truck, getting my permit, all that. And then they put me on a Greyhound bus from here to West Valley City, Utah, Salt Lake City, right? So that's 2 days by bus. Then you get to the hub and go through your indoctrination. Then you get your trainer. You go out with your trainer. You come back to Salt Lake City. Then you're supposed to upgrade, right? Pick up your own truck and all that stuff. They put me back on a Greyhound to come all the way by Greyhound back to Spartanburg, South Carolina to pick up a truck that someone had dropped off at the schoolyard. That's where I put my truck at, right back here. I'm like, man, really? So I've spent like 4 days on the Greyhound to get a truck that was left there nasty and had to be cleaned out and vacuumed and air freshened and everything before I would even think about staying in it. You know what I'm saying? And that was crazy. And then guess what? I went home, did all that, loaded up my truck, and had to go back to Spartanburg to pick up my first load going all the way out to Utah. And then I went
Back
from,
again.
yeah, but then I picked up my load in Utah going where? Back to South Carolina. I mean, I was going back and forth. It was crazy. And then, like you said, you'd be like, yeah, I'll probably end up back over there. Then the next thing is, oh no, you're going to New Jersey. So you go up to New Jersey and pick up a truckload of cocoa beans, you know, the chocolate, the actual bean.
Yeah.
Those things stink. I don't know if you've ever had them in your truck, but they are the smelliest things ever. And because it was reefer, every time you drop something off, you'd have to go get the truck washed out, the trailer washed out.
Yeah.
Right. So it
Got
was
that 3/4 fuel, got to be washed out.
every time. It was just constant. And the last straw, everyone, and you know this, they'll say, don't go. If your company goes to New York City, don't go. Don't go with, you know, don't take that load. And I'm like, well, so it comes across the Qualcomm that I've got a load going to upstate New York. I'm like, okay, well, it's Buffalo, right? So that's not New York City, no problem.
Yeah.
Go up there. I go to Buffalo, unload all the pallets except for one. And I've got one pallet that I then have to take to New York City.
Yeah.
Right. So
did you ever have to go to Hunts Point in New York? In New York City?
No.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Well, the thing was, and it was several things. I smoke. And guess when I ran out of cigarettes?
When you was downtown.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, I went to a store, and this was in 2003.
And you better not run out of money either, because there's tolls everywhere.
$10 a pack.
Yeah.
And in 2003, I'm like, hell no. So I had to be smoke free until I got down to, I think I actually bought them in like Pennsylvania coming south. And it was a nightmare. So Pennsylvania was like $8 a pack, but at that point it's like I'll buy a pack to make it through. Yeah, then you get down to like North Carolina, and you're like, I'm just buying cartons. Now I got like cartons of them in my bed, right? Yeah, it was crazy. Construction products don't have a chance. Look at Jenkinsville. A flipping phone on the job. Yep, that's it. And then 2003, if you got a cell phone, it's almost like you're paying by the minute, right? There wasn't that. You had a plan.
Yeah.
You were paying by the minute too. So you were getting killed on.
Yeah, $800 bill. Yep, been there.
It's like losing money to work. And so they got me close to home. And I didn't tell them, but we got to Macon. I went to Macon to drop something off at the Keebler plant in Macon, Georgia. And I called my dispatcher. I'm like, hey, I'm going home. Well, when are you going to come back out? I said, no, you don't understand. I'm going home. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Well, why are you, what's wrong? What's going on? You know, you always get the stuff there on time and everything. I said, I know. So with me getting the stuff there on time, you think you would realize to give me more miles so I can actually make some money out here instead of this 2,500 to 3,000 miles a week, which I mean, but if you think about it, if you're going 650 miles a day by law, that's because the trucks were regulated, right? You can't get more than, 4,000 miles basically in a week. So you're still.
No, because you got to wait on them to load it. You got to wait on them to unload it. You got to get it washed out. You got to get fuel.
And they love to send you to like a Walmart distribution center, and you have to schedule that appointment time. And that's
don't be late.
That's the time. Oh, they're such scams. So Walmart have you delivered to Walmart before?
I do it every week. If you're late, you have to reschedule 24 hours later.
not only that, but if you're getting unloaded, at least it used to be this way, you had your schedule time, you'd get there and unload it. You couldn't lump your own truck.
Yeah.
You would have to pay them to unload your truck for you that they ordered from you.
Yep.
It was
That's the way
75.
the way all of it is now. It's all like that. Yeah, it sounds backwards, but that's the way the business works.
It's they're
You
paying
have to pay you have to pay for them to unload your truck, and it's their product.
right.
Don't sound right, but that's the way it is.
And at that time, I mean, that was about the only way I was making some extra money, right? I'd write a
Unloading.
contract to lump the truck,
Yeah.
right? $75 to unload this delivery. Okay, here's the Qualcomm number for the com check. Great. And then I would cash that at the truck stop, right? And
Yeah.
with my walking around money.
Was you signing yours Rodriguez and stuff like that? That's the way I was doing mine. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was bad, man. It would get to a point to where it's like, get to the station. I'd go over the radio. Hey, who wants some cheap gas? Well, how cheap is it? Well, how much do you need?
Yeah.
Because you would get owner operators that would have the cash, right?
Yeah.
And just, well, I'm low on fuel, but hey, I can give you this much.
Yeah. Or them gallons of oil
Yeah.
or pallets.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it was, you had to get this, I mean, side hustle on a little bit because it was like, oh my gosh, it was bad back then for me. But
You had to, or you didn't eat.
yeah, it was like, goodness. I mean, think of, 3,000 miles at 22.5 cents a mile. I'll pull the calculator up.
$660, and that's before tax.
Before tax.
Yeah.
And then you got to mail that home because the wife needs to buy baby diapers and food. And I'm like, man, maybe I made a bad choice on this thing.
You're going to spend what, $200 a week eating?
Yep.
You know.
So then you're sending her home $350. So if you take that times 4, that's only like $1,500, right, or something like that. You're like, yeah, this thing. And back then I was only paying like I think $550 rent. But then $550 rent, and then you got your electric and water and groceries, and it's like you're making. That's why it's a job just over broke at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was. It's like by the time you pay everything, you are broke.
But if you'd have stuck with it though and found you a good job, you would have got the money coming in. I think.
Like, I'm gonna order some stuff from Bob, then back charge for unloading my bill box. Right? Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you how this Amazon deal works. So someone ordered some swarm lure. They bought it, right? I pay for the shipping, right? Out of the cost. So the shipping came out. Amazon keeps theirs. Then they want to return it, right? So they get the return, but they charge me back the total cost, right? So the total cost is $29.99 plus the shipping. I think they kept some of it. It ended up being $28.88 to charge back. So $28.88, but I paid for the shipping and their fee. So now I paid Amazon, I paid the postal service, but now I paid the customer back their whole amount except for $1 and some change. So who lost on that deal?
Yeah, that was a total wipeout, wasn't it?
Let me see. I can't believe you're still going to Walmart to buy sugar after you know where to get it for the cheap. And you taking the stabs, Michael. Why are you taking those stabs? I can only help you a little bit, but you got to go the other way, the other part. So 11.
I wish I could get it that cheap.
11. So you can make 11 5-gallon pails. 11 5-gallon pails for, well, how much is sugar now? 63.
Well, it's a 25-pound bag to a 5-gallon pail. Is how I do it.
Yeah, me too. So that's what, at $14, $15?
Yep.
Okay, so $14, $15 a 5-gallon pail, and you can make 11. So let's say, I'll say $15 to go on the high side, times 11 is $165 to make 11 pails. For $165 for the same amount of money, I have to either go down or go up. We'll say, so I'll go down to 160 because I get them for $10 a pail, right? $160 would have got me 16 5-gallon buckets of 2 to 1. So that would have been 32 buckets of
Right.
1 to 1. So 32 buckets of 1 to 1 for less money. So
Quite a bit less.
that's why I drive.
Yeah.
It cost me half. So
I wish I had that gig over here.
yeah, and you got the tote and trailer, so it would be worth it to go pump it full. And as long as you don't mix it with water, you don't have to worry about it fermenting. So if you keep it in that 2 to 1 sucrose that they've got, it'll stay in there for months, no problem. So I would only siphon off what I was going to mix at a time and do it that way.
Yeah. Now, see if it's in my route. I can put it in this truck sometimes, depending on what I got.
Well, the problem is you got to carry like I take buckets, right? So I carry my buckets and then they fill them and then I put the lids on.
Like my bottles, for instance.
For me, the gas it's 3 hours round trip, and I think I burned a half a tank. It cost me $20 for gas.
Yeah. Like my honey bottles, Bob, I'll stop at Man Lake there at Clarkston, Kentucky, and buy a whole pallet of bottles at a time and just bring them home on the truck.
Yeah, that works out good that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to put nothing in it until you mix it. Then when you mix it, you put in whatever you would normally put in it. So it's 2 to 1. All I'm doing is taking a 5-gallon pail and taking an empty 5-gallon pail and splitting it in half, right? So now I got 2 half 5-gallon pails. I add in whatever I'm going to add and fill it up with water to mix it. And done. And because it's liquid, I just spray the hose in there on jet and it mixes itself, right? So, yeah, I wouldn't, well, and we don't do that all the time either, Steve. We don't figure if you got, some people live a long way from a Walmart. Some people don't. But if they go to the Walmart, they got to drive to Walmart to get the sugar too. So, and I don't have to go as often. No, you don't have to do it on Saturday. You just have to call them. That's why I sent you the number. You got to call them and tell the guy when you're planning to come, and he'll tell you what's the best time for you to be there. So you kind of work it that way. I go on Saturday because I work Monday through Friday. And I tell them I prefer to be there in the morning so I can leave out of here at 8, 9 o'clock and get there 11, fill it up, and be back home to do what I got to do. But yeah, gas plays into it, but I don't burn enough gas to warrant buying Walmart sugar at this point.
Well, you're saving time too, not having to run to Walmart every 2 weeks.
Yep. And I could put 27 5-gallon pails in my F-150. So you figure 27 pails, that's what, 54 5-gallon buckets. So whatever that comes out to, a couple 100 pounds, right? Or 120 gallons or something like that every time I go. So, all right. Well, hey, I just sold some pins up on, must have been the link that I dropped. So thank you, whoever ordered those. I can tell you who ordered them when I flip over here. Let me see. Manage orders, Amazon Seller Central. Oh, 2 open orders now. What's going on here? I got 1 pending, so thank you, Donnie. And I can't see who's the second order yet because it's still pending. But I will get those shipped out. They will leave in the morning for sure.
Well, mine are to be in when I get home.
Oh, I'm sure. Let me see. I can tell you exactly when yours are going to be there. Or no, I can tell you exactly when the post office says they're going to be there.
Yeah, that could change.
Mark Miller. There you are, Mr. Mark. Let me click on your thingy here. And there's your tracking number. It says Friday. Tomorrow it'll be there by 9.
Be there when I get there.
It is in the Memphis, Tennessee Network Distribution Center. Now you should get an email, right? It is sending you an email with tracking.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at it though. I ain't in no hurry for them, so.
Well, the reason I asked, I had someone ask me when they were, did I ship out did his order go through? And I said, yeah.
So how long did that take, Bob? Do you know when you sent them off?
If you ordered them on Monday, I sent them out on Tuesday. It says shipped on the 13th, so 3 days ago. So it took a few days to get there, though.
And how'd you ship them?
USPS, Post Service.
Okay.
So it should come right to your mailbox.
Wednesday, Thursday, and they were there Friday.
Well, I shipped them Tuesday. Yep, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 days.
Yep.
So good deal.
That's not bad.
Let's see. Not too terrible. Well, guys, I gotta hop off here.
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
Gotta go pick up my daughter from work, I think. If my wife's not doing, I don't know. She might be in there sawing logs right now. I haven't seen her. So all right, guys. Well, y'all have a good one. Tomorrow's Charlie's night. So we got to go in there and see Charlie tomorrow.
Charlie
Chatlin.
Yeah. As soon as I get them T-shirts, I'll show you one.
All right, cool.
You might want to put some on your website or something.
Hey, we can work it out.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Money.
You have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, bud.
Good night, guys.